Yo, what's going on? It's your homie B from All Day I Play with the new logo. But I'm not here to talk about that. What I do want to talk about is this guy right here. Remember this? The NES Classic Edition. It was the hotness of the holiday season last year. I believe, right? Last year? Was it last year? I don't know. I didn't want one. It was extremely difficult to find, right? It was 60 bucks, I believe, and it played on nostalgia like no other. Even people who didn't play video games any longer, people who played Nintendo back in the day, which of course is a ton of people, parents, grandparents, you know, kids who are no longer kids but in their 30s, 40s maybe, you know, who just had the itch to get back into, I don't know, I don't even know what games is on here. I guess Zelda, Donkey Kong, Mario Brothers, you know, the standard NES, the standard Nintendo. Personally, I will say I didn't want one, not because I didn't think it was cool, I thought it was awesome, but because it was such a hassle to find. At 60 bucks, yes, this is something that is amazing. I personally buy like every console that comes out. It's just something that I do because I love the game. And to be honest, the NES was awesome back in the 80s, early 90s for me. But my brother and I always had the same games, which I think I talked about before in another video. So we didn't necessarily really have like this, you know, nostalgia feel for, of course we had Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt because it came with it, and we had the orange zapper, you know, back when, you know, people were afraid that cops were going to shoot kids if they took it outside with a cord hanging from it, but whatever. I did not have this nostalgia feeling for Nintendo, and it's kind of carried over into other Nintendo products, although I have purchased, except for the GameCube, I purchased every Nintendo product. The SNES was, my brother and I, we went ham on that together. We had Street Fighter 2 probably for about a year and a half. No other game. So we got it in pretty regularly. We had Mortal Kombat, of course. Mortal Kombat 2. NBA Jam. NBA Hang Time. And I'm really digging deep. But as far as games go, we weren't necessarily a part of that Nintendo stable where you had your Marios. Of course, you know, we would borrow Super Mario World from a friend around the corner. We had Donkey Kong Country, we had Super Punch Out, but I'm trying to think off the top of my head. We didn't play Zelda. We never really played like, you know, the first party SNES games, and even the standard NES first party games. You know, Mario 3, of course, everyone had that. We had Punch Out. After was Mike Tyson's, we had Mr. Dream in it, you know what I'm saying? Because Mike had gotten a little bit of trouble with the law, you know what I mean? But other than that, like, we've never, you know, myself, my brother as well, like, we've never been like these diehard, you know, first party game SNES or NES gamers. It was a lot of third party stuff. Chippendales Rescue Rangers on the NES. So the nostalgia for me, you know, I wanted to get it for, you know, my daughter to kind of, you know, but she probably really wouldn't have cared after a while. But it was one of those things like, yeah, it's 60 bucks, that's really cool, I will grab that if it's available, but it wasn't available. It was not easily able to be copped, if you would. It was a rat race to get a $60 product, which Nintendo is the kings of supply and demand. I think they're on parallel with Apple, where they create this crazy demand for this thing that they understand everyone wants. Like, let's be real. Like, you can't think of this as Nintendo sitting back and being like, oh, we don't understand that the supply and demand is going to be that great. Like, at the end of the day, even if you didn't think so at the beginning, you are a manufacturing company that's been in existence for 100 plus years. I'll go back to the toy days. Let's be real. Y'all know what y'all doing. And I'm not going to give them any slack on it. So when the NES Classic came out, I was like, you know, I can't find one. Didn't really look for one. Just kind of heard like the buzz that it was pretty impossible to find. and I was cool with, not really trying to chase after it, right? So today, Think Geek, who is a company owned by The Stop or GameStop, personally not a fan, not of Think Geek. I don't know, how they really go, but pretty much GameStop purchased them back in 2015. They sell collectibles, for like movies, games, anime, kind of like those, fun pop things or whatever they're called. My kids have them, every so often I'll find like a different one. Like I found a Robin one the other day, which, I was kind of like, oh, you got Robin now. Okay. But, they sell like not necessarily gaming stuff, but, stuff that, that pop culture of, mainstream gaming could potentially get into, clothing, t-shirts and stuff like that. I got this from Hot Topic, holler. But they came out with these NES Classic bundles, as you can see, and so they weren't selling it for $60, right? They were selling it with, as you can see, like some Mega Man junk, some Zelda Breath of the Wild junk, with looks like a Sheikah Slate, some Mario Brothers junk, just some junk with it, because they probably need to move it. It's probably been sitting around, and they probably said, hey, it's probably like, oh, we got these NES Classics still sitting around, by the thousands probably, and we want to move them, but we also have this other stuff that we need to get rid of as well. So they probably said, well, let's make bundles and raise the price because people really want this thing, and we can get rid of a bunch of junk. It's called business, At the end of the day, a lot of people are kind of butthurt about this, but you can't really be mad at Think Geek. You can't be mad at GameStop for creating these bundles. Bundles have been going on. I think PS2 had some bundles back in the day. I know the Wii had some crazy bundles. And I'm sure the Switch right now has some bundles. And of course, we got the NES Classic Edition bundles from Think Geek. Do I think it's slimy? I do kind of think it's a little like underhanded, but I get it, I'm not mad at them. This is 2017. They're running a business. They want to make money. They need to move things out. They're going to sell junk that they not necessarily can easily sell to someone who's just either visiting their website or walking into a GameStop, who just wants a game and they don't want any of that trash that's on the counter, right? So, you want it? You want an NES Classic bundle? You want an NES Classic? We'll buy it with some of these other stuff, right? So they're ranging from, I think, and I apologize, I should be better prepared. I think it's like 140 to 220, right? So, you could choose to buy a $60 product on top of some other trash, which is essentially what it is, because some of the stuff is cool. The Mega Man stuff is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, but would I buy it? No, I don't need it. Buy this other stuff, you'll get your NES Classic. All is fair, right? Well, a lot of people don't think it's fair. A lot of people think it's kind of shady. They think it's underhanded, but this is a business. This is Nintendo's fault through and through. They know exactly what they're doing. They create this ridiculous supply and demand. They don't create enough units. If they want it to be, on the like, rare type of things, that's cool. If they want it to be like, something that you can't necessarily be able to just walk in and get, whatever. But for people to be upset at, GameStop, Think Geek, even people on eBay, people is making money. Like, it's all about making money. It's all about the dollar. So if you want to say, oh, well, they're upcharging from the $60, don't buy it. That's all it comes down to. If you want it that bad, and by the way, all of these bundles that Think Geek came out with, they're sold out right now because people want it that bad. And it's smart, right? And we got to stop thinking as gamers like this whole thing is, how do I put this? So as a gamer, right, I've been gaming since, I want to say 80, I don't know, we got We had in television, my dad had one. We had an Atari 5200. Didn't have a 2600. Don't know why. I was pretty much like 4 or 5. We got an NES on the way back from vacation, I think from Virginia Beach one year. We got RC Pro-Am. So that's, we're going back, I'm 34 now, so probably close to 30 years I've been gaming, and a lot of people get this thing where it's the hobby, right? We love it. It's something that we, lose ourselves in, the stories, the characters, the lore, everything is amazing about it, right? It's something that to people on the outside who don't understand gamers, they really look at it like, I don't really understand why you like games so much. I mean, you really could like sports or something like that. And, I like sports. I like basketball. Not football, because we went to church all the time. Didn't really watch football. But personally, I did not ever think I would ever stop being a gamer, because it is a passion of mine, even at 34, with kids and all of that jazz. It's something I'm not going to stop doing. It's something it's a part of me. It's been a part of my life pretty much longer than anything but my parents and my brother. But I understand as a 34-year-old man, and even before that this is a business, and feelings should not get hurt. And I feel like a lot of times us as gamers, like, our feelings get way too hurt. So you got the Destiny 2 beta going on. Personally, kind of burnt out on Destiny 1. Wasn't really feeling Destiny 2 right now. Might go back to it. It's whatever. But it's kind of a subjective thing, objective or personal opinion thing. It's not my feelings, like, yes, I am very passionate about it, but I'm passionate to the point where I spend more hours playing games probably than anything else except for working. But I also, like I said, understand that it's a business, and I don't allow my feelings to be hurt by a corporation that I understand may want to do things that I enjoy, may also not do things that I want to enjoy, but ultimately they're here to make the almighty dollar. Like, that's what it is. It's not, they're not catering to me. They're not catering to us individually. You understand what I'm saying? They're catering to the masses. They have a business to run. They have money to make. They have to be profitable so that they can continue to throw money at, these new properties, existing properties, new consoles, PC. I'm not a PC gamer. I have a really nice PC though. Someone from the PC master race would probably say it's garbage, but I don't really know much about it. I just bought it. I didn't build it because I don't care to do that. I just bought it to do this type of stuff, which I probably need to do more of because I spend a lot of money. But they spend the money that they make from us so that they can continue to do this over and over again, so that they continue to make more money and be profitable, or else they'll go out of business. So we can't get so angry, so sad, so sappy over something that is pretty much not meant to hurt our feelings ever, GameStop included. I don't bang with those dudes personally. I download everything. I'd rather not step foot in a GameStop, but they're a corporation. They're making money. They're in it to make, they're in it to stay in business. How long they'll stay in business, that is another story. I do not know how long they will stay in business, but they need to make money. They need to stay in business so that they can continue to service us as gamers, so they can continue to come out with new products, whether it's, you know, the power-up rewards or, you know, continue Game Informer, open new stores, whatever. They have to do stuff like this. I mean, they probably don't have to, but they're going to. And you can't be upset about it. Dudes on eBay selling them for like ridiculous amounts of money. Still way more than this. You know, it's more than this. At least you can return this, probably, maybe. At least you have a point of sale to return to if you don't want it anymore. I don't know. I think their return policy is probably trash, but you could probably still work with a corporation that's selling you something better than, you know, some Dudlow Joe who's selling it on eBay for $6,000 and you're buying it. But be sure to understand that the same thing's going to happen with this guy. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. You know, I don't know if they're going to have a pre-order type of deal or whatever. But if they do, pre-order what you want. You pre-order hardware. You don't pre-order software. If you want hardware, personally, I pre-order all my hardware. You know, so I'm going back to... We'll go back to PS2 because I was a senior in high school and pre-ordered PS2. Got the Xbox later. Never got a GameCube. But after that, PS3, 360. Actually, no, I camped out for 360, but there was still playing there. I still was there at Circuit City, no longer around. At 8:30 p.m. Waited overnight in the rain, 40 degrees, when they opened at 10 a.m. to be the first in line. I had a plan, right? What else came after that? PS4 pre-ordered. Wii U was able to get in on a pre-order on a homie who had pre-ordered 2. Still a plan. Nintendo Switch pre-order. Xbox One I ended up getting later. My wife got it for me. Thank you, baby. Xbox One X. Xbox One X. Still having a difficult time saying that. Will pre-order. You want hardware, you pre-order it. If it's available to pre-order. Xbox One X is not available at the moment to pre-order, but when it's available, pre-order it. If you want it that bad, you pre-order it. You can't be mad at these other people for these other organizations and you know, people on eBay for taking the opportunity to make some more money. If you ran a business like this, you would do the same thing. It's capitalism at its finest, right? And that's the world we live in. But you can't be upset. You can't get mad. You can't spew, you know, hate to, you know, GameStop. You guys you're just setting us up and you're doing us a disservice. Get over it. If you wanted it that bad, camp out, whatever. If you couldn't get it, I don't know. There's other means to be able to play these games. They might not be legal. I'm not advocating that because I don't do that. But, you know, you can't be mad. They're not trying to hurt you. Nintendo, they should have made more, I don't want to say copies, but they should have made more units, I guess. But they're going to do the same thing with the Super Nintendo. How difficult was it to find the original Wii? I think it was difficult to find the Wii U for like a week, and then after that, it was pretty easy to get. But the Switch, still difficult to find. Yo, you think this is done like because they're like, well, we don't know if people really want it, so we don't want to make too many, and they sit on shelves. Look, these dudes know exactly what they're doing. They do it all the time. They do it release after release, and no one really holds them accountable. Everyone's pretty much kind of like, you know, I'm really looking forward to one, but it's just difficult to sell. Man, everyone wants one. It's like, no, they don't make enough. They don't make enough on purpose, because if they keep the supply low, the demand will go longer. So they don't have to worry about having enough units on shelves and people not buying them. They create enough so that people will be like, man, I went into Best Buy, or went to Walmart or Target or GameStop, and they only had like 2. Yeah, it's planned that way. Same thing with the iPhone. You think Apple doesn't know like trillions and billions and quadrillions of people don't want this product? They know. They have, data. They're not stupid. They understand. Don't play into the game. Understand what they're doing. They're doing it. They're trying to play people. You know what I mean? So, be patient or pre-order the hardware as soon as it's available to pre-order. You won't have the issue. I understand if you don't have the funds, and then later you'll have the funds, but usually the pre-order situation, you can kind of go to GameStop and throw down $50 or $100 or whatever, and kind of go in each week before it comes out, throw $20 at it until you got it paid off. But you can't be mad at these folks for making a profit. It's the way of the world. But you can't be mad at Nintendo, and they might be like, this is a way to steal our product by showing pictures of this device that's coming out, because I've gotten a content strike before by them when I did my new hotness video on Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I was really surprised about because I enjoy that game, not as much as a lot of other people, but I enjoyed that game. It was my new hotness of the week, and I had a lot of positive things to say about it, but they were kind of like, hey, copyright, which I understand. It is your property. I get it. I got them. So I'm not going to be mad at them. But, if this gets taken down, whatever. I'm just trying to say to people, don't be mad at people making a profit. Be mad at, these people for creating this situation to begin with. Because that's exactly what it is. And that's all I wanted to talk to you all about. Got the new setup. I like the old setup better, but I got a new couch. And I can't move it by myself. So, had to switch it up a little bit. So, hope you all like it. Like and subscribe below. Hit me up on the comments if you feel like, I'm in the wrong. Let me know. If you feel like you agree with me, let me know. We can have an adult conversation, because I think that's what this should always be about. Being adults and talking about something we love. So, holla at me later, and I'll see you when I see you.